Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12 Reunion Part 1. And I really need to know what you guys think. What did you think of the reunion? Do you feel like, I don't know, I felt like it was just kind of ramping up towards stuff, obviously, that we need to hear about that happened from the season, but I don't know, I enjoyed it. I was not bored during it. I don't know that we got a lot of meat out of this episode, but I thought it was pretty good still. So let's get into it. Right out of the gate, we start with something a little different. We see a flash of Tuesday, and it's the technical reunion. So they're looking at lighting. Lisa Rinna's asking if they need to wear shoes. Andy says, don't wear shoes, don't wear pants. Then we see Thursday discuss their looks real quick for the reunion. So I've gone ahead and I've ranked them in order of my favorite to my least favorite looks on the ladies. So I've ranked them in order of their looks that I thought. So my favorite is Dorit. I thought she looked gorgeous. She looks like a statue. Don't love the hair, but I do love the dress. It looks fantastic on her. Right there with her, I love Garcelle's look. I loved her hair. I love that thing in her hair. I thought it was gorgeous. I love that she's representing a Black-owned business, and she's showing off this beautiful color. She looks like a flapper. She said that was the look she was going for with the feathers and the headdress. She just looks gorgeous. There is Erika. I thought Erika looked beautiful. I do like this outfit on her. I could never wear anything like this, but I thought she looked beautiful. She's actually kind of giving me Katy Perry vibes, just in the face. Do you see what I'm talking about? So I'm just going on how they looked at the reunion. I'm not going on personality because believe me, I do not like Lisa Rinna. I did think she looked really nice. I like this dress. The hair I'm so on is better than her real hair, but I don't know. But here she is. The next one for me was Denise. So Denise was in this pink outfit. I mean, pink is good. It's good on her, but I don't think she pulled out all the stops for the reunion. Sutton, I did not care for this dress at all. I just think it looks like Grandma Ice Skater. Don't love this. And hi, I'm Teddi. Oh, Teddi. So Teddi, all the other ladies you could see posted their full body. Not Teddi. She's just showing off this hair. She's the only one that could take like something interesting like pink hair and make it really boring. So there's Teddi with a Facetune. Here's Kyle. Kyle is my least favorite look from the reunion. I hate the cut of this dress. I hate the earrings. I hate the dated hair. I don't understand it. I even hate the floor she's standing on. Like, that's just so ugly and so dated. It all looks like it's a throwback picture to, grandma. I don't know. I just don't like it at all. Even Andy kind of points it out and calls her Dynasty, which she takes as a compliment, but I just don't love this look on her at all. So the episode kicks off. Rinna's saying, Andy looks so cute. She loves to kiss his ass, whatever. Andy says everyone looks really good, and they get into it. So the episode kicks off with Andy talking to Garcelle. So they show the clips of Garcelle, getting on the episode and speaking. Of course, look at Kyle's face. She always has a puss on her face. She and Garcelle just don't like each other, and it's obvious here. So then Andy brings up a Watch What Happens Live that Garcelle appeared on. I listened to it. In case you didn't know, Watch What Happens Live is available in a podcast, so you can listen to it if you don't want to watch it. So that's how I get it. But Garcelle said Kyle was the least welcoming of the group. And I remember that episode, and it made me laugh so hard. I was a little bummed that Garcelle blamed it on not remembering anybody else's name. She was going to call out Sutton, but she ended up picking Kyle. Kyle tries to play the victim. She's saying, I was totally blindsided. I was excited to have Garcelle be a part of the show. Every time I saw her, we were laughing. She does bring up at her party that she was doing that thing where she was climbing under Garcelle's skirt. It's this whole thing. Garcelle says, I want to address this. This is my first time on Watch What Happens Live. I couldn't remember anyone else's name. Kyle says, what about the stuff you were saying in the interview bites? And Garcelle says, let me finish addressing this. At the awards show, I said you glaze over things when it's important for me to have a conversation with you. I never said you weren't nice to me. Andy asked Dorit, who's had issues with Kyle listening, and Dorit says, Kyle does have a tendency to interrupt. I can be long-winded, which just makes me laugh because I'm thinking of the conversation between her and PK. And she says, it's not nice to make people feel like their point isn't important. So we see a whole clip package of Kyle interrupting, and I love it. And Andy asked Denise about the same issues, that Garcelle's experiencing with Kyle and that she's had the same issues. Denise says, Kyle talks at us and doesn't really listen to what we're saying. Oftentimes she brings it back around to herself. And I say, good for you, Denise. It's not even that I am very much Team Denise, but she's right. I've noticed that in Kyle for years. It's always got to be about Kyle. Andy asked Denise, Kyle says to Garcelle, I didn't have any issue with you. The only time I glazed over you is if I was talking to someone else. But again, I don't think Kyle's listening, and this is the example. Garcelle's telling her how she feels. Instead of taking it in, Kyle's just, deflecting with a ready-to-go answer. So I think that's what kind of bugged me about this. I understand they do that on the reunions, but I felt it especially bad from Kyle. And then we have the first shots fired at the reunion. Whew. So Kyle says to Garcelle, I didn't have any issue with you. The only time I glazed over you is if I was talking to someone else. I felt like you were picking apart your problem with me, and it was disingenuous. You were never there, and we had no chance to bond. Then you came to my charity event, raised your paddle to donate $5,000 to Children's Hospital Los Angeles, and never paid. Damn! And then everybody's face was like, what? It's so crazy. That's such bullshit, Kyle. I feel like if Garcelle, I don't know. I feel like when you have a lot of money, you have managers and business managers and everything else, and you have to do things a certain way. So I feel like Garcelle made a point of doing this in public in front of cameras. She gave she donated that money, and it sounds like the check just didn't get to Kyle. There was some sort of miscommunication. And normally, if somebody like me said that, yeah, call bullshit because I probably just don't have the money. But Garcelle, come on, she's got it. It's good. Like, do you need to bring that up right now? It's just further proving what an asshole Kyle was. So what's interesting here is Garcelle admits that she was warned by someone. Who do you think that someone was? I actually have a feeling it was maybe Dorit. She was warned by someone, maybe Denise, that Kyle likes to wait and watch the episode to raise a stink about something. She'll go on Twitter and rile everybody up to, come out against you. So that was interesting. And Andy tried to find out who it was that told Garcelle that. Garcelle says, I'm not doing that. Andy asks if anybody wants to reveal who it was. Nobody raised their hands. Who do you think it was? Andy asked Garcelle to tell him about being the first Black housewife of Beverly Hills. And I can go through this, but the thing I want to bring up is, come on, are we still doing this? This is the first Black housewife of Beverly Hills. We have no Black housewives in New York. These huge, diverse cities, and they could show so much different culture, and they just don't. We call for it all the time. Nobody's listening, but I'm glad Garcelle's a part of the cast and she's speaking up. So good for Garcelle. We see a clip about Erika's instant bond with Garcelle. Erika says that she's more trusting and open with the group. And I kind of have to go against Erika here. She was a little more open this season. But come on, she refers to herself as an icy bitch. She's usually closed off. God forbid you bring up any of her family. She freaks out. Hello, we've seen it. We see you, Erika. It's brought up that Erika's son is a policeman, and she says she gets to see the best of law enforcement through her son, but that there are obviously injustices and discrepancies in how things are handled. Garcelle called Erika to ask about her son, and Erika says that she's the only one that did that. And I just thought that was so thoughtful. Andy reveals that Sutton put her $9 million house on the market, and Sutton jokes that she's moving because she's desperately broke. Oh, she's not sure if she's gonna move or not. She says, God knows, I might not even sell. She says she wants to sell before she buys something. She has her eye on another house. We'll see. Then it's brought up about the whole Dorit Sutton thing. Remember when Sutton confided in Dorit, and then Andy asked why Dorit then related to the ladies like is such an exaggeration and basically a lie of what Sutton said. Dorit says, first of all, Sutton, I wanted to say I wholeheartedly apologize for making it a bigger issue. I wanted that night to go well. That coupled with not knowing you well, in my mind, I was mistaking your energy, your nervous energy for anger. And Sutton says, well, and quite loudly you did that. And Dorit says, I watched it back and I felt bad. I don't know. I don't know if I care that much about this. I think Dorit was in the wrong here, and I love Dorit. She's probably my favorite this season, her and Garcelle, but I don't know. She just handled it poorly. She apologizes here. There's still some back and forth. Sutton brings up a point like, basically, you're apologizing now. You didn't apologize at the time. So, moving on. Kyle, you came to Sutton's defense without knowing her. Kyle said, yeah, we've had one disastrous dinner after another, so I came to her defense. Then Andy brings up that Rinna was actually the one that was friends with Sutton, and she didn't. She turned her back on her friendship. And Lisa Rinna says, all Sutton has to do is pull me aside and say, and explain the situation, that guy was there, she's not feeling comfortable. And then Lisa says, I love Sutton, to which I say, bullshit. She'd sell anybody, like, for, the attention or the admiration of everybody. It's all about the fans, not her true relationships. Andy brings up the gift bags that Sutton likes to hand out. The ladies got a gorgeous clutch. They're all saying how generous she was. They brought up the boots that she brought to Italy, that they were monogrammed, and Dorit says, you're extremely kind and sweet. That's my Dorit impression. And, of course, Erika says, I think you're a well-bred Southern woman who gives gifts from the heart. And I say, I would like to be friends with Sutton so I can get one of those gift bags. Then they bring up Kyle's dinner. Remember where Mauricio was stoned off his face? So they played that first impressions game, and here we go. Teddi. Oh, Teddi, you add nothing to the show. I forgot that she was in the reunion till just now. So they bring up how Teddi was so hurt because Sutton said she was boring and made a comment like, oh, you're pregnant? Of course, Teddi has to turn into a whole thing about miracle of fertility and bleh. Teddi. The same thing Erika says to Denise later on about, oh, it's convenient for you to say that. I'm saying to Teddi, it's convenient for her to say that. So that way she can play the victim and try to get attention or whatever the heck's going on here. Sutton says, I've apologized for that. I was trying to be silly. Are you going to let my small disdain for your clothes get in the way of a friendship? That is silly. And I love it. I love it. That makes me like Sutton even more. Why even try to pursue a friendship with Teddi? Just disdain her clothes. It's pretty fun. Now you can disdain her hair too. Andy then switches gears to Denise, and this is kind of getting into some of the good stuff here. So he says, Denise, last season you casually talked about the size of your husband's penis, the happy endings. This season you're flinching at the mention of threesomes. We see a clip package of it. And they even bring up the steak at the strip club thing. Denise claims she was joking about it. So they ask her about not bringing the kids to the dinner at Kyle's house. And Denise brought up a really good point here. She brings up that Rinna actually had said to her, maybe don't have the kids at dinner. And we see a flash of that. It's such bullshit. So Rinna can say that and then use it against Denise. It seems to be her whole MO. She uses that with her quote-unquote friends. So Denise asks, when do they bring up sex around the husbands? Rinna says she brings up Aaron's penis size every show. Denise says she says one comment. They go back and forth. I don't have to go over all with you. You see it. It's just, I don't know. This one's tough. I understand Denise's point. I said this before. If the kids are around, you can't go into these conversations. I understand the ladies' point, though, a little bit on this one. Believe me, I'm Team Denise. I will never side with the others. But in this case, maybe don't bring your kids around. And that's what she did. So good for her. And then they jumped down her throat for it. So she can't win. Okay, so Andy brings up this whole controversy, especially with Erika, but with, mainly Erika and Rinna and Teddi about this whole threesome thing. And about the clip where Erika says, it's in debate. Erika's saying, no, she was saying teenagers know about sex and what threesomes are, whereas the clip kind of makes it sound like she was specifically talking about Denise's daughters knowing what threesomes were. There was so much backlash online, rightly so. You're talking about kids in this, probably shouldn't talk about that. But yeah, so Rinna's like playing the victim and saying, oh, I can't believe you did this to us in such a public forum. Hello, everything you do is in a public forum. Erika is telling Denise it's convenient for her to believe that it was just about her kids, not about teenagers in general. Andy says you have to sit down with your kids and have a conversation about last season. And Denise says, my kids don't watch the show. Rinna says, bullshit. Erika says, did they hear about the happy ending or just the bad stuff about us? Again, they came across, I thought, as mean girls. It's up to Denise what she shares with her kids and if they watch it. I thought this was kind of unnecessary, cruel. So Rinna says, gaslighting. Let's have some gaslighting. Good job, Denise. Good job. To which I say, Rinna, you're such an asshole. Seriously. I know I say that every week, but hello, she wouldn't even let Denise talk. She was just yelling over gaslighting. I think Rinna just learned what that word means, so she tried to use it as many times as she could this reunion. It's the wildest thing. So we see a flash of next week. Rinna is saying, I love attention. Of course you do, Rinna. That's not a shocker. Kyle says she spent over $10,000 shopping in Rome. What? Oh my gosh. Garcelle is arguing with Teddi. I can't wait to see that. Go Garcelle. Please take down Teddi. It's Rinna versus Denise. I can't wait to see Denise hopefully tear Rinna apart. And then Denise seems super pissed at Andy. So I'm very curious. I don't like that Denise and Andy are getting into it. I love Andy. Don't take down Andy. But can't wait to see what happens. I hope they get into the Brandy stuff next reunion where they didn't really show it in the preview. I'm a little worried they might put it off to part 3, but we'll see what happens. So that is it for my recap, guys. I really need your thoughts. I want to know what you guys thought about the reunion. Did it reaffirm your love for Denise? Did you kind of change your mind about things? Was there anybody that was a standout? And who did you think looked the best? And who did you think looked the worst? And I just want to know all your thoughts. So leave your comments below. I so appreciate everything so very much. And you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Real Recaps. I'm covering New York, Beverly Hills, Potomac, and Below Deck Med. So check out my other episodes. And thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.